Tel Aviv, in their reaction to the speech of U.S. President Donald Trump recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Israelis and Palestinians stuck to their respective narratives. One side interpreted it as unfettered support, while the other lamented it and uttered threats. Both are in for a surprise once they appraise the full content of a carefully crafted presidential speech. In Jerusalem, where Israeli politicians struggled to outthank one another in Twitter posts to the U.S. president, the authorities illuminated the medieval city walls with the American and Israeli flags as a sign of deep-felt gratitude for his historic decision. The Palestinians had a festival of lights of sorts, too, setting American flags and effigies of Mr. Trump ablaze in protest. Here, politicians competed in disparaging the White House and making dark predictions. In Ramallah, the anger and sense of insult were almost palpable. Dr. Mahmoud Abbas, president of the Palestinian Authority, declared in a brief televised speech that the United States had disqualified itself as a mediator in negotiations with Israel. These condemned and unacceptable measures are a deliberate undermining of all efforts exerted to achieve peace and represent a declaration of the United States' withdrawal from undertaking the role it has played over the past decades in sponsoring the peace process, he said. He lambasted Mr. Trump for taking decisions that reward Israel for denying agreements and defying international law, and encourage it to continue its policy of occupation, settlements, apartheid, and ethnic cleansing. Palestinian chief negotiator Saeb Erekat defined the speech as the most dangerous decision that any U.S. president has ever taken. Relocating the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem was prejudging, dictating, and closing doors for negotiations. Ultimately, he was pushing this region towards chaos and violence, Mr. Erekat told the satellite channel Al Jazeera. Since now it was meaningless to erect a Palestinian state without Jerusalem as its capital, his people were left only one option, to fight for equal rights in a single state between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean, he claimed. The radical Islamist Hamas movement, which controls the Gaza Strip, claimed that Mr. Trump had opened the gates to hell. Recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital is an aggression against all Arab and Muslim states, and against free people all over the world, said one of its leaders Izzat al-Rashek. He swore that Israel would one day disappear, and Jerusalem will remain the capital of Palestine, the Arabs and Muslims. The still more radical Palestinian Islamic Jihad even opined that Mr. Trump had declared war on the Palestinian people. Still, there was no violence on Wednesday, December 6. This may have been due to a storm whose pounding rain drove potential stone throwers indoors. More importantly, while Dr. Abbas did fan the flames, he has no interest in severe violence that could ultimately destabilize the PA and threaten his rule. Hamas, too, is keener on rebuilding Gaza and cementing its grip on the Strip than on risking another war with Israel.